ability. And they can reach into your mind. They can download information. They can just simply, all of a sudden, you know something. It's just like a sense of knowing. Just, yeah, like a thought. They could tell you, hey, we'd like you to come out in the woods. And all of a sudden, a thought appears in your head and says, yep, I need to go because they want me to go out there and check something out. I mean, this happens all the time.
Well, you know what, Samantha, is like Ron Moorhead. Getting, hearing strange sounds like, being out where he used to go. He had to take a mule with him and pack in. He was really in far, but he would hear like car doors slamming, like I mentioned, or a car horn and things like that. Now they must be doing that, sending it to your brain or something. But again, how would they know what that sounds would be like other than they taking it from your brain and then, letting you hear it back? Because, I mean, there's no way, like Ron was out middle of nowhere. There's no way there was a car around with somebody slamming a trunk or beeping a horn or some of the weird noises he recorded and heard. It is strange. And that's, makes me just wonder. And also, it makes me think everything we learned when we went to school, back in the day, that everything we learned about how men originated on Earth, going even back to Adam and Eve, or going back, we came from a monkey or whatever, okay? It kind of throws it all out the window because it doesn't jive.
Right. Well, this part about, I know lots of experiences of the fact that about the mind speak and about the tapping into your head, and as I mentioned in a talking to you before on a previous program, the portals that opened up for my friend over on the other side of Mount Rainier here this past September, they actually saw two. One of them was the kid that was in the car, and he saw two tunnels that appeared. And one tunnel had all the things the kid loved about his life. It was almost like a comfort thing because someone had to tap into this boy's head, mind, and actually find all, and determine all the things that he enjoyed about his life, and it presented inside this tunnel. And then the other tunnel, of course, was showing a future event. Would look like it looked like the same boy, but now 18 years of age or so in his graduation, like high school graduation, like a future event. So I mean, it's just I thoroughly believe they have the ability to tap into our minds and actually read these things.
Yeah.
You have no defense against them like that if you feel it's adversarial or anything. I think you determine you have your free will and everything. That's the only thing that will stop. So I don't want you scanning my brain,
Well,
But I think there's even though they have all these abilities and everything, I think that I demand mutual respect. That I don't want. We hear about abductions, things. I demand not to be abducted. I demand that, I don't want my space violated or anything like that, whether mentally or physically. So I think there's that respect, at least with the group that is here.
Yeah.
They fully respect that. There is respect back and forth between the humans here and with the little people and the Sasquatch, at least in our area.
Yeah, but again, too, there's all different, I hate to say it, species of aliens. So, I think we're, again, I always tell people, if you think we're the only, just like going back to Columbus Day, when they discovered all these different parts of the world and they discovered the world wasn't flat. It was, face it, we're not the only humanoids out here. And I'm sure there's other ones out there so much more advanced that have been around a lot longer than us. And that's the thing. And, again, getting back to where they can read your mind and stuff like that, I believe that because, I have a set of twins. And when one of them gets hurt, it seems like the other one doesn't know they got hurt, but they feel something happened to, like my daughter will think something happened to my brother, or her brother thinks, something happened to his sister, and it's strange, the things that, that can happen. So if we can do that, like the twins, for example, I can't not believe that, some species out there can read our minds. And, just
well, they
because...
talk about quantum entanglement, too. I mean,
oh, yeah.
You take two particles and split them apart, and one reacts to the other. So, like in the event of the twins coming from a single egg, all of a sudden you have this particle that's split, and so there's a relationship between the two twins, and they're tied that way. It's like with your mom, for instance. How many times have all of a sudden you decide to call your mom and you pick up the phone and she's on the other line and it didn't even ring yet?
Oh, yeah.
She called simultaneously at the same time. This has happened a lot.
Well, how about when people, like the mothers, right, would have a son and he's fighting in some war, and all of a sudden they get this cold feeling like, oh my God, something happened to my son. They did something, something did that. They just all of a sudden didn't think out of the clear blue moon, oh, geez, and then they get that letter, or they get that phone call and say, oh, your son was killed in action. Hey, we got a phone call here. Let's take it.
Don't hear that.
Okay, who do we have out there, caller? Hello?
Vance?
No, you got the wrong number. This is a talk radio show.
Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was a business. I'll update our records.
Okay,
thank you.
Please do.
Bye-bye.
Ah, that's interesting. Now I'm getting...
You got a what do you call those?
A solicitation.
A solicitation on Skype. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. You know what's really funny, Samantha? I'll be in my studio sometimes because of the time difference, like in the UK or in Spain. So I'll be sitting here, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll have one of the computers on. And when I turn the one computer on, it automatically defaults to Skype. And all of a sudden, I start getting these phone calls from the UK, from Exits, or London, or some weird place, And I call them, I pick it up and I say hi to them. And they start saying, hey, I'd like to talk to your guest. And I go, I'm sorry, there's a time difference here. But, it's, I don't know, Skype is interesting. And the show is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But
unless your name is Vince and you're trying to hide something from us there, Samantha.
What's that?
I said, unless your name is Vince and you're trying to hide something and they found you.
Oh, no. No, but, things are going to keep getting more interesting. I have a feeling that I'm on the right track because things aren't just at a level point. Just some of the things, every time I take pictures, it's kind of like Christmas for me because I'll get on my computer and I can explore the picture a little bit more in depth and compensate for the old eyes, with a good enhancement on the, just simply being able to blow up a picture on a computer really helps big time without even having to enhance it. And the stuff I'm seeing is just, yes, I'm just, my mouth just drops, my jaw drops when I'm seeing, like I'm actually now seeing like men. I could see very human beings that they're all over the place. I mean they're showing up in the like the creek area and stuff like that. And it's just, oh man, they knew that I have an intent to be able to contact them more and be able to have. They're showing themselves more and more.
One thing I was going to ask you, how many megapixel is your camera you use? I'm using a 24 megapixel. I mean, cell phones only do about 8. Yeah, I mean,
that's why I upgraded.
Yeah,
I need, if you're going to blow up pictures, you need to have as many megapixels. If I could have a 50 megapixel camera, I'd do it, but it's pretty pricey.
Yeah, it won't be in another year, but that, that'll make a big difference because you get an image like that, and if you have let's say a 30-some megapixel camera or a 50 megapixel, it just gives you more capability of capturing the image and bringing out the image and being able to do with it more. But, again,
I'm actually doing a class this coming April for a Bigfoot conference we're actually going to have in our area up here. And we probably talk about more details another time. But it kills me when people want to continue. So I'm going to just use my cell phone out in the woods and take a picture. They'll send me the picture. Says, I think there's a Bigfoot in this picture. They'll send me an 8-megapixel camera, and first of all, they send it through Facebook. That's going to compress the image. It makes it even less, and I can't blow that up before it starts pixelating. And what people got to understand is the idea is that you need to get an image that has as much detail as that you can pack into it, which means it's going to have to be a big file.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? 24 megapixel means the image is going to take 24 megabytes. And you got to email that or put it in Dropbox or something. You can't use it. You can't send it through Facebook. It'll compress it down.
And if you do it as a JPEG, and a lot of people don't realize it, because I have an extensive, besides electronic background, photography background.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'll tell you, if you got a JPEG image and then you sit there and you download it and then you manipulate it, unless you save it first, every time you open up that JPEG, it degrades the image quality. So by the time you sit there and send it out somewhere and put it on Facebook, now your image quality is way down. So that picture of that Bigfoot you had or you thought you had, now you can't tell it from a stump.
Always, if you're going to take pictures too, you need to use the RAW. You could use JPEG, but make sure you always produce a RAW file.
Oh yeah,
or a TIFF file or something like that. That's actually got everything in it.
And then you can open that all you want. It's not going to degrade the image quality. Hey, our time is almost up again, and I want you, again, tell people where they can find you on Facebook, again, where they can find those images.
Oh, okay. So the easiest thing to remember, so you don't have to type as much in, is just type planetsasquatch.com. That will be a shortcut to go into my blog site, and you can find the pictures there on the show slides. Just peruse the site, planetsasquatch.com. If you go to YouTube, type in Planet Sasquatch, it'll come up with the YouTube channel. Go to Facebook, find a group. If you want to join our group, it's a closed group, but you also search for Planet Sasquatch, where the first thing that shows up, that actually shows more members. And then you can select that and request to join the group and ask 3 different questions I require before I approve you into the group. Oh, and that'll get you to everything that I'm doing.
Well, great. Hey, Samantha, I want to thank you for coming back on Night Dreams Talk Radio. I will say that normally I use a different camera on Facebook, but I decided to use, because Michael said, hey, you need to do a face shot, not a back shot. But so I got a computer right here, and you've been blowing up my Facebook with people asking questions and listening on it and all that stuff. So I just want to say, and on my chat line, it's gone crazy here tonight. And it's a lot of people are interested in this subject, and I want to thank you for coming back on, and maybe in the next couple months again we can get you back on and talk more.
I'll have new material, I guarantee you that.
Okay, well, you have a great weekend, and again, thank you for coming on.
Okay, Gary, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Night.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
But, that makes me, wonder, everything you learn when you go to school, about Adam and Eve and how man originated and the Bible and all this stuff. But then you look at other things, like I mentioned, like the Sphinx, the wear marks in the back. How did that get created? They said now it was created by an ocean. Well, that puts us before man. Well, then what was there to create the Sphinx? I mean, there's so many unanswered questions out there. And then they have found through all the years, skeletons of men or humanoids that, are quite tall, 12, 13, 14, up to close to 20 feet. Heads that are huge, skulls that they have actually uncovered. It tells me that everything we have actually learned, I don't know how much accuracy is there. And again, aliens that come down, are they going to be 3 feet tall? Are they going to be 15 feet tall? Are they going to be 6 inches tall? I don't know, because I don't know what type of planet they came from and what system they came from. And is there portals? Like, if You remember Stargate? Is there a system where they can come on our planet and go through Stargate, or they go through portals, and what better place actually to have those portals would be out in the national forest. And